Good morning, people. Hey, I just want to touch on the last days about the rapture coming in and everything. The book of Daniel really comes out with it. I'm going to read mainly out of the Word this morning about it. And here we go. And then it says, Then I, Daniel, looked up and saw two men on a bank of a river, and one of them asked a man in a linen robes, who was standing now above the river, How long will it be until all the end times enters? He replied with both hands lifted up to him, taking oath by him who lives forever and ever. They will not end until 3.5 years after the power of God's people have been crushed. So, and then it says, I heard what he said, but I didn't understand what he meant. And he said, Sir, all this be the final end? But he said, Go now, Daniel, for what I have said is not to be understood until the time of the end. So it just shows you right there what I just quoted from Daniel. It was chapter 12, and starting with verse 5, and I think I ended up with verse 9, I think 5 to 9, that you can read it yourself. And then he goes into great detail if you want to read the rest of the book of Daniel. So that shows me, like I've been trying to tell you people, that the last 3.5 years of the power of God's people have been crushed. That means we're going to be in the Great Tribulation. This pre-rapture stuff, no. Okay, I explained it many times where the rapture comes in, and that's post-rapture. When Jesus comes back in the cloud, he raises up people from the sea, the ground, and those who made it through the Great Tribulation and made it alive will never experience physical death at all, but they will be changed in a twinkle of an eye into a new spirit form and physical form, and raptured or lifted up to go to the new heavens. It's that plain and simple, people. I know that John Darby, Martha Campbell, and there's a few other ones started that pre-rapture, mid-rapture stuff, but I'm sorry, to me it's not biblical. I read you the book of Daniel. There's also things in the First Thessalonians and other chapters that go in detail to it too. So if you read that on Daniel, and what I just mainly wrote, said just a minute ago, that when he said, How much long will the tower last? And it was in verse 7, he replied with both hands lifted to heaven, by whom he lives forever and ever, that they will not end. Okay? I'm emphasizing this again, will not end until the last 3.5 years of the power of God's people has been crushed. So that means a lot of those God-fearing people that are with God are going to be crushed